I was noticing a little vibration, 65 and 70 the other day, and I thought it might be the tires. I got a little oversized tires on this, but I thought, well, let's just check this driveline just in case. And I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Anyway, the bearings are gone, and I'm going to have to replace these rear bearings, U-joint bearings. They're actually not on very tight. You can tell by the size of wrench I'm using. You can see this probably a little better. These are not very tight either. I do not know what the torque is on these, but I've noticed in the past when I've done these that they're not very, they're on there snug. I don't think you want to get them overly tight. I don't want these ants all over me. I'll remark that later with my white marker. I'm going to jack it up a little bit now so I can rotate the tire around, which will rotate the drive line. Because sometimes these will hit here when you're trying to take them out. There's an optimum spot. I don't do these every day, but if I remember correctly, I believe you can just, these bearing cups sit in this little track there, and I believe I can just pry the drive line forward a little bit. There we go. Get that out of there. Okay, that drive line should just pull right on out. I'll put a bag around it. Yeah, I'll try and put a bag around it. This is going to drop down. It's going to drip some out the end of the nose piece there, probably. Nope, it did not. Since there's no dust in Arizona, I'm going to cover this up and that'll keep the no dust out of it. Okay, now we go to the top. I wedged a screwdriver down behind the back here. A little wobble right there. I can feel it. So that's, I'm going to have to replace the front one as well. Put a little file mark here, and then marked it with a grease pencil. This way I'll be able to put the yoke back on the same in relation to the drive line itself. It's been a while since I've done a few. It's really very simple. Well, finally, huh? Now the way I've always done these, and I apologize for the wind, it seems to be coming up again, is to find a socket, fits inside there, and then another one fits over the outside. And the idea is to press these out a little ways with the vise and then get them with the vise grips and take them out the rest of the way. Now they have needle bearings inside, so you'll want to try and do this with a little finesse if you can, because when you put the new ones back you don't want the needle bearings falling out. So practice with the old stuff here to try and get it right, and then when you put the new ones in you won't have to worry. So let me get that set up. I will tell you that the hardest part is holding these and getting them lined up and keeping your driver line from slipping. Put a rag underneath here to kind of help it along. So now I'm just going to tighten the vise up and try and press these fittings. Oh, and you might need a piece of cheater pipe for your vise handle. These things are pretty stiff. I'm using a piece of old electrical PVC for mine. They usually put yellow marking on like this when they're from a wrecking yard, so this driveline was probably a replacement. See, the needle bearings are all in there. Usually the grease holds them in, but don't count on that. Now you say, how are we going to get the other one out? Okay, and there you have it. This will just pull off, of course, but now we got to do this side. Driveline is free. Just remember, there's another end to this. But at least with this part, you're working with a smaller piece. A little bit easier. Okay, that's basically the idea involved in doing this, and the other one will come out just as well. It only has the front piece yoke has 4 connections, in the back 2 connections are to the rear end that you took loose earlier, so you only really have to do 2 of them. Okay, this is the back side, the one that I showed you with all the slop in it, and I wanted to show you this bearing cap. Look at how dry that is. This would not take any grease if I remember correctly. And there's a bearing pressed in the middle of it. Something tells me that this is all chewed up. What a mess. And I was driving on that. Scary, huh? And it showed just that little slop. That could have gone out any time. So I got to go get the parts, and speaking of getting the parts, I will tell you that once you get this piece out here, the best way to do this is to take it down to the auto parts store, clean it up, and then match it up with the one they give you, because too many times they make so many different sizes that you will get the wrong one. So ordering online could be a little iffy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put my calipers on it and order online, take a stab at it and see what happens. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this loose, and until I get the new parts, this is Steve AZ711 saying thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and yeah, you guessed it, bye for now.